So 2017 was the incident with my superintendent, and I really started looking for an athletic director position. That was my goal. I had certifications. I got my master's in sport administration. This is what I wanted to do. 2018, it was a very good year. I don't believe I had any incidents. We won. The baseball team won a league title for the first time in 10 years. I got coach of the year. It was a good year. And at that moment, could I have stayed there? Probably. Maybe things were turning. I could change. You don't really change your reputation on winning a league title. The rumors were still there, so I wanted to leave. That's something I forced myself to do. My wife, I got an interview. It was about 90 miles away from home. But that's how much I wanted to get out of this district and become an athletic director and just get away and start fresh. It was 90 miles one way. I got an interview. I got a second interview. They called me. They offered me the position. I accepted the position. My wife was against it. She usually knows these things before I do. She didn't think it was a good idea. You know, I was leaving tenure as a teacher, even though I was close to having tenure charges brought against me. Giving up jobs, giving up that security, it's never easy. But because I was so close to losing my job, I figured there wasn't much security left. I didn't know what was going on with me, and I clearly couldn't control it. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I didn't have any answers. So what does somebody do? I wanted to get out of that. I needed to get out of that situation. And maybe if I start fresh, it's just Mark, the new athletic director, the new physical education teacher. I had a couple middle school and high school classes I had to teach, and then just start fresh. But 90 miles away, it was an hour and a half drive, no traffic, because I left so early in the morning. I was an athletic director. I ended up having to get I had to get my own apartment, with a wife and 2 kids at home. So 3 weeks into my new position as athletic director, I started mid-July. This was the second week in August. I was pulled over. There was a car that had been littering that matched my car description. I was on the thruway. I was actually in standstill traffic. I was going 5 miles an hour. Somebody littered, threw something out the window. It matched my car and got pulled over by a New York State trooper. And he, right away, he said, "You're getting pulled over. There's somebody that had been littering. Have you been drinking?" No. Strong smell of alcohol coming. So to make a long story short, DWI. And in New York State, it immediately goes to your employer if you're a teacher. Directly, I believe it goes directly to the State Department of Education, and then from there, it's quickly, maybe within the same day, it goes directly there to the State Department of Education, right to the superintendent's office. So they know about it before. There's no way to hide from it. No way. I had not been, so at that, I was coming back from a gathering with friends. I was coming home. I had been drinking the night before, but I went to bed at midnight. This was 4 p.m. I got pulled over. So 14 hours later, and I was around a .18. Now, part of my condition that I have Auto Brewery Syndrome, but I also have GERD, which is gastroreflex disorder, as well as it's called Barrett's esophagus, which actually just makes GERD worse. It's reflux, and whatever you have in your system will reflux for hours and hours. And I told the state trooper, I went to bed at midnight. He asked me, "Do you have GERD?" And at this point, I wasn't diagnosed with that. So I didn't know what that was. I said, "I don't believe I do." He said, "Because if you did, maybe that would be the answer here. But you don't, so being arrested for driving while intoxicated."